In a further blow to Netanyahu-led coalition government, 37 Israeli Air Force reservists refused to turn up for training and protests against reforms to curtail judicial freedom. According to a letter circulated in Israeli media, 37 Israeli Air Force reservists have announced they would refuse to show up for a training day in protest against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plans to overhaul the country's judicial system. The reservists belong to the F-15 squadron. They say they would not show up in training on Wednesday and instead devote their time to dialogue and reflection for the sake of democracy and national unity. This announcement comes at the back of weeks-long popular protests drawing in different sections of society against sweeping judicial reforms by the incumbent government in Tel Aviv. Although the government has justified the reforms, which include giving the government more weight in the committee that select judges, denying the Supreme Court to strike down amendments, and lending the parliament the ultimate power to overturn court decisions with just a simple majority, calling them appropriate measures to correct the alleged power imbalance between elected officials and the judiciary. The critics accuse the sweeping changes would erode judiciary's independence, giving government disproportionate power, besides potentially influencing graft charges against Prime Minister Netanyahu. These developments reflect the increasing discord within the society, as well as in the administration ranks as Israel moves far right on the political spectrum. The Netanyahu-led coalition government, formed in December last year and includes ultra-conservative political factions, is considering the most right-wing government in the history of the country, raising fears of creating social divisions and eroding democratic values. Moreover, oppression and violence against Palestinians in occupied territories have increased. Already, more than 60 Palestinians have been killed this year so far. There are apprehensions and indications that it would get only worse. In January 2023, Israeli National Security Minister Govt made a provocative visit to Al-Aqsa Mosque in the occupied East Jerusalem, raising the threat of Israeli plan to change the status quo of the holy site. More recently, Finance Minister of Israel, Bezalel Smotrich, called for completely razing the village of Hawara in the occupied West Bank in the wake of resistance against Jewish settlements, eliciting shock and condemnation from international community, with the US State Department calling it repugnant and disgusting, and the Human Rights Watch saying it was an incitement to violence. I'm Osama Nizamani, and this was your Daily Dispatch.